I'm Gabriel Willow. I'm an urban naturalist. It's kind of a term I made up, I guess, but I'm interested in exploring nature in urban spaces. And I think there's a general impression that places like New York City are kind of devoid of nature, but that couldn't be further from the truth. There's so much wildlife here. So for me, the most exciting thing is to share this abundance of nature, whether it's birds or seals or wildflowers, anything really, with the general public. So we have 3 eco-cruise series with Classic Harbor Line. There's a summer series, that's the Abandoned Islands eco-cruise. We go up the East River to the Brother Islands, which are home to a nesting colony of herons and egrets and ibis, osprey, and some really amazing abandoned buildings and human history as well. And then there's a fall series that goes up the Hudson River. It's fall foliage along the Palisades. We talk about the geology of the Hudson River and the Palisades, the ecology of the river, of course, and then witness the spectacle of just incredible colors of the trees along the Palisades. This latest addition to the Eco Cruise series, the Winter Harbor Eco Cruise, the ultimate destination are 2 islands, a pair of islands off of Staten Island called Swinburne and Hoffman Island. These are man-made islands that were originally built to house quarantine hospitals in the 1870s, and they've been abandoned since a little after World War II. They are maintained as wildlife habitat. And in the winter, they're a gathering place for seals and seabirds, loons and ducks and things. So this is also the first time Classic Harbor Line has offered a tour that goes past the Verrazano Narrows. So that's pretty exciting. We're going from the upper New York Harbor to lower New York Harbor. So it's kind of a first for all of us, and that's exciting. And it's just beautiful. You go under the Verrazano Bridge, which is very dramatic. It's the longest bridge in the Western Hemisphere. You see the whole Brooklyn Waterfront, Red Hook and Sunset Park, Bay Ridge, and there's a lot of fascinating history there. We go into Buttermilk Channel, which is between Governor's Island and Brooklyn. There's often a lot of wintering birds in there, down through the harbor into the lower harbor. And it's still a working waterfront too, so you see lots of interesting boats. You know, there's container ships coming and going, and there's fire boats and police boats, and it's like a Richard Scarry boat book or something, just seeing all these craft out there. It makes me feel like a kid again. And then of course, if we get to actually see seals, everybody loves seals. They're cute, they're fascinating. They started hauling out in the winter and hanging out there maybe about 20 or 25 years ago, so it's a relatively recent phenomenon. The fact that nobody was seeing any seals in New York Harbor in the 1970s is a big difference from today. I mean, that's part of the excitement, that's part of why I like doing what I do, is the element of the unknown. There's an element of improvisation and surprise. I've done boat tours for years in New York City with various boat lines, and I have to say, Classic Harbor Line is far and away my favorite boats I've ever worked on. They're just so ideally suited for nature exploration in the city. They're quiet, which is a big thing, like the seals are quite skittish, for example. So if you have a louder boat, they might jump in the water. The visibility is incredible. You're just surrounded by all this glass. It's like you're in a greenhouse or something, and so everyone has great sight lines. Everyone has a place to sit. Sometimes if it's a more crowded boat, people are standing and other people can't see. Here, everyone can just sit and look out the window. Obviously, it's heated inside, which is nice in the winter. There's delicious hot cocoa, there's wine, so it's a very classy, nice experience. It doesn't smell like diesel fumes. Sometimes boats, you know, can be a little diesel-y, just the beauty of the craft themselves. And they're made in New York, so there's like a sustainable element, I think, where the boat is locally crafted in New York State. But the best part is the crew, the captain, the staff of Classic Harbor Line. They're just so warm and welcoming, and I just really appreciate the excitement and enthusiasm among the Classic Harbor Line crew as well for new experiences. So I just think it's the perfect partnership to be doing eco-cruises with Classic Harbor Line. So do I think it shapes people's perspective to see animals in the wild? Absolutely. I wouldn't do this if I didn't think that. I have to. I think at the very least, it just changes people's perceptions of what the city contains, and hopefully, I mean, I've had people tell me, so I know it does. I've had people tell me, oh, I was on a tour of yours 15, 20 years ago, and I've never quite looked at the city the same way. And that means more to me than anything, you know, just to change people's awareness of what's around them. I think that's really important. But I also hope it leads to personal change and also to political change, where people advocate for more conservation measures, because we need both.